Safety and health at the workplace is an important issue in today's modern workforce. It has great significance not only to the injured employees but also to the organization as a whole. Workplace accidents contribute to additional costs to the operations, or in other words, it adds to the operational cost of an organization. The direct cost of a workplace accident is defined as cost that is visible and can be incorporated into accounting terms that will appear in the profit and loss account. This cost will also directly affect the operational cost of the organization. For example, the direct costs relating occupational safety and health are insurance premiums and initial compensation. Expenses directed to the accident investigations, process and procedures to identify the contributing factors to the workplace accidents. So costs that the organizations need to bear if legal issues arise.
Indirect costs. Indirect costs are expenses that apply to more than one business activity and will indirectly affect the operational cost of an organization. Examples of indirect costs are salary paid, workplace accident, recruit a new employee training cost, and image of the organization. The iceberg model, and we can see that indirect cost is a hidden and biggest cost to the company than the direct cost. A sample of the situation when the accident happened to the employees in the company, either a big or small accident, the boss had to respond to manage all the costs, such as to pay the injured employees, the backup of product or material damage, and the cost that company to spend to recruit a new employee during the injured employees recovered. All the costs will affect the production of the company. Like a boss, we will feel burdened with the indirect cost because it is money that had to spend in unexpected situations.
I will discuss the importance of occupational safety and health. What is occupational safety and health? Occupational safety means risk factor at your workplace and potential safety hazard that could possibly cause injury. Occupational health, on the other hand, looks at potential health concern and well-being. Thinks of safety as an employee's physical well-being and health as everything else, including mental health. Why occupational safety and health is important? Occupational safety and health is important because it can prevent from injuries, disease, and death due to working conditions. Next, I am going to present the direct and indirect costs. So what are the direct costs and indirect costs? The direct cost of workplace accident is defined as the cost that is visible and can be incorporated into accounting terms that will appear as the profit and loss account. This cost will also directly affect the operational costs of an organization as well as the employees. There are two types of direct costs that an employee should ask the business owner before starting the work, which are insurance premium and initial compensation. For example, I, as a staff, either working in a small or large company, should have asked the employer about the insurance premium for my safety and health. If the company does not provide the insurance premium, do they provide the initial compensation for the medical treatment? In my case, it is my fault for not asking about this prior working with the company. Lastly, indirect costs is defined as costs are not visible and cannot incorporated into accounting terms that will appear in the profit and loss account for the organization. For instance, if I was injured due to skin injury and the boss needed to recruit a new employees to replace me, either temporarily or permanently. Thus, this added costs will affect the operational costs of this organization.
Occupational Safety and Health at 1994. The Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 or Act 514 provides the legislative framework for the safety, health, and welfare of all Malaysian workforce. The policy spells out the measures to be taken and also highlight the relationship of these measures with the other organization objective, such as the quality or environment policy. three main principles, which are self-regulation, consultation, and cooperation between the employee, employer, and government. As the boss, we have provided this ad in our life care insurance company because we want to show to our employees that we care about the importance of their safety and health. The policy will be short and precise, be published by the top management and made known to all employees. The first one is self-regulation. Self-regulation is defined as controlling a process or activity by the organization that is involved in it rather than by an outside organization such as the government. Based on the philosophy of OSH at 1994, the responsibilities of those who manage the risk is with those who create the risk. In this life care insurance company, as the boss, we are responsible for occupational safety and health policy. As example, it is the responsibility of our company management to develop, implement, and review in participation with our employees. Besides, we also commitment to prevent work-related incident. As example, our organization is committed to take every reasonable effort to eliminate the hazard that cause accidents and injuries, because we want them to work in a safe and healthy environment consistent with the National Occupational Safety and Health laws and regulation and any other requirement the organization subscribes to.
Self-regulation. Take responsible care for your health and safety in the workplace. You must also take responsible care for the health and safety of others who may be affected by what you do or don't do. Next, cooperate with your employer about any action they take to comply with the regulation. For example, use equipment properly, follow safe work policy, and produce and attend training.
The second is consultation. Consultation is defined as an internal process in an organization by which management seeks the views of employees on certain issues but retains the power to make decisions on these issues. The certain situation, we as the boss prefer to make a consultation with our employees to know their opinions for the situation because we are working together in the company. But we keep retains the power as a boss to make the last decision. This consulting season leads to greater cooperation and better communication between the boss and staff and gain better understanding of each party's views. Consultation including productivity, improve overall efficiency and quality and higher level of working motivation in our company.
Consultation. As employee should talking about safety and health to employer, it two-way exchange between you and your employer. Talk each other about safety issue. For example, ask about buying new equipment. Employees also should share consultation idea and solution for issue. For exchange information to improve safety and health at working place.
It's smarter to travel in groups.
The last one is cooperation. Cooperation in the workplace can mean many things. It involves the level of which employees participate in decision making, how management and employees work together to resolve problems, and how all levels of the organization work together to achieve common goals. Cooperation is a communication mechanism to enable both parties to understand each other's needs, interests, and difficulties. In our life care insurance company, we try our best to make some activities and steps along with the employees to improve the cooperation in the workplace. First, we make teamwork a part of the workplace culture. We provide an environment where employees are not afraid to share their ideas and also creating a culture where the exchange of ideas is encouraged and rewarded. The second is giving training to employees and encourage ongoing learning, because we know that working as a collaborative team member is not a skill that everyone is born with. However, it is a skill that can be learned. So the company is willing to spend the money investing in our employees' teamwork skill. The last one is provide the resources that the teams need to work together. This includes comfortable workspace where the teams can work together. Our company will provide an online collaboration portal for the employees to use for communication that allows the employees to communicate easily across different departments and when they are spread out amongst different locations.
Every employee really wants a safe workplace. However, not all employees have the same attitude, responsibilities, and willingness to ensure their safety and health in the workplace. Also provide employees to work with employer. Employees are required to do the following: to give due attention to the safe and health of themselves and others who may be affected by their actions while working. Next, wear or use any equipment or clothing worn by the employer at all times for safety and health related purpose. Comply with all instructions or manual of occupational safety and health introduced by the employer.
Hi, here I would like to present about managing safety and health at the workplace. The first point is hazard identification. Hazard identification can cause risks and can contribute to the rate of workplace accident. There are 5 types of hazard that I as a boss need to focus on. The first one is physical hazard. A physical hazard can injure worker with or without contact. As a boss, I need to make sure that my worker do not feel any pressure because pressure is one of the physical hazard.
The first one is physical hazard. A physical hazard can affect those who work in extreme weather or in harmful environment. As a staff, I need to make sure that the work I do is not expose me to continuous sun rays and ultraviolet rays because could be risk.
Second is biological hazard. Biological hazard include virus, bacteria, insect and so on. As we know, today we are faced a crisis that called COVID-19. I need to make sure that my worker follow the SOP that the government order. Third is chemical hazard. Worker can be exposed to the chemical in liquid, gas and so on. We need to provide a good workplace for the workers and give them a full set of safety tools if they are work with chemical. Next is ergonomic hazard. It is a result of physical factor that can result in musculoskeletal injuries. It comes from poor setup office and so on. A boss need to give a comfortable place for their workers. Lastly is psychosocial hazard. It affects the mental of the worker. As a boss, I need to keep my eye to my worker to make sure there are no mental bully and so on.
Is biological hazard. Biological hazard are extremely dangerous. As we know, today we are facing a crisis that we call as a pandemic COVID-19. I need to make sure that I follow all of the SOP that the government and my company order. That is chemical hazard. Chemical hazard mainly threaten employees whose roles expose them to dangerous liquids, solvent or flammable gases. I must choose a good workplace that the company give a full set of safety tools if I have to work with the chemical ingredients. Next is ergonomic hazard. Ergonomic hazard affect individuals who work puts a strain on their body. If I use improperly adjusted workstation or have a poor posture when performing manual roles and heavy lifting, maybe I will be at risk of injury. Lastly is psychosocial hazard. It could cause stress. As a staff, I need to take solution to develop myself from being bullied or workload. It will make my brain not healthy.
Risk assessment process. This process can be done by taking into consideration the probability of hazard causing a workplace and the probability of the several injuries caused by hazard. There are 3 processes. The first one is to identify the hazard. As a boss, I need to know the situation at my office. After that, I can take the next step, which is risk analysis and risk evaluation. Risk analysis is when I, a boss, I need to know all about the risks that happen in my office. I need the information and data so I can measure and plan strategies. Lastly is risk control. As a boss, I need to regularly review my risk assessment so that my worker will keep safe and healthy.
Is to identify the hazard. As a staff, I need to know the situation at my workplace. After that, I have to take the next step, which is risk analysis and risk evaluation. As a staff, risk analysis is important because I have to know the risk, what will happen if I work there. I have to make sure that work I choose is in a good environment. Lastly is risk control. As a staff, I need to be in a good environment in my workplace so that I can make sure that I always keep healthy and safe.
Risk control. Once the identified risk is assessed at a certain risk level, management needs to formulate preventive strategies to either eliminate or reduce the risk associated with the hazard. There are few steps that I can take, such as identify the hazard. There are 5 types of hazard and I need to identify which one of the hazard that happen in my office. The next step is I need to know who might be harmed. I know that my worker that will be harmed, but I need to know which department are there. After that, I can move to the next step. I need to evaluate the risk. After I know which hazard that happened and who will it harm, then I need to know how will that harm my worker and the level of risk and how I'm gonna face it. After finish it, I can go to the next step. I need to record my findings so that after this, I know what is the most efficient way to prevent the hazard. Lastly, I, a boss, need to regularly review my risk assessments. I want my worker in best conditions so they can give their best at their work.
First, I have to identify the hazard. There are 5 types of hazard and I need to identify which one of the hazard that will happen if I work there. Next step is I need to know I might be harmed. So I have to make sure that I work in good environment and need to know the kind of harm if I do my work if I've been there. After that, I can move to the next step. I need to evaluate the risk. After I know which hazard that will happen and I might be the one who will get the harm, then I need to know the level of risk and how I to face it. After finish, I can go to next step. I need to record my findings so that after this I know what is the most efficient way to prevent the hazard. Lastly, as a staff, I need to regularly review my risk assessment. I need to work in a good environment so that I will give focus and good work to the company.
This is the part of the factors contributing to workplace accidents. Accidents at work often occurs and this should be avoided to ensure the smooth running of the organization. There are several factors that contribute to accidents at work. In general, it is divided into 3 categories. The first one are environment, the second one are equipment, and the third one are employees. Environment is one of the high potential that can cause accident at work. Usually, this is related to the design of the workplace or in particular, the arrangement of the workspace. So as a boss, we need to provide a comfortable and not overcrowded workspace for employees so that they do not work under pressure that can lead them to accidents. Improper workspace design can hinder or cause difficulties in performing daily tasks. The second one are equipment. An unsafe approach and non-compliance with the use and operation of equipment and machinery is a common reason why accidents occurs in the workplace. Insecurity in the forms of machinery that do not have a safety mechanism is also another reason why accidents at work occurs. So as a boss, we need to ensure that every pieces of the equipment its use in the organization is safe. So boss will provide high quality equipment so that it is durable and does not cause accident at work. And also the boss will select highly skilled workers in handling the equipment and machinery in this insurance company so that it is can handle well, and the equipment needs to be maintained to ensure there are no problems with the equipment. And lastly, the factors are employees. Among the ways that can be done to avoid accident at work is to train the employees through two approach. The first is initial training. The boss will emphasize and provide knowledge about the tasks that need to be done by the employees so that the employees only does the given job only to avoid duplication of works that eventually lead them to accident due to chaos. The second one are the subsequent training. That the boss does is training which is focused on reinforcing standard so that employees always are alert and focus on being safe at work. The boss will explain safety measures in the workplace to prevent accidents.
First of all, I'm as a staff at Life Care Insurance and I want to present about factor contributing to workplace accident. Employees usually show better execution in a more peaceful environment and do not contain negative element. A negative work environment will interfere with the effectiveness of an employee's work. For example of physical factors in the work environment are brightness level, temperature conditions, and noise levels. Three factors that contribute to accidents in the workplace are safety management actions, such as existing hazards are not well controlled. Lack of interaction between management and safety is not part of work procedures. In addition, the mental state of the employee is less focused on the instructions that have been given, emotions are less stable, and quickly panic and anger. Next, the physical condition of the employee such as disability, visual and hearing impairment. Finally, the factors involved in the workplace accidents are employees. Employees need to be sensitive to the instructions given by the employer and also need to discipline themselves in every aspect of the job. That's all from me. Thank you.
I will discuss about mechanism of workplace accident prevention. There is 5 main points from workplace prevention, which is responsibility of the employer, responsibility of employees, responsibility of safety and health committee, safety and health officer, and safety and health promotion. First is responsibility of the employer. It is an employer's duty to protect the health, safety, and welfare of their employees and other people who might be affected by the business. Employers must do whatever is reasonably practicable to achieve this. This means making sure that workers and others are protected from anything that may cause harm, effectively controlling any risk to injury or health that could arise in the workplace. One main responsibility is to ensure the safety, health, and welfare at work of all employees. Provide information, instructional training, and supervision to their employees.
Second, responsibilities of the employee. As a staff, you have rights and you have responsibilities for your own well-being. You have right on duty to care yourself. The staff must take reasonable care of their own health and safety. The staff who is given a work activity must be competent, which means that they have the right amount of knowledge, training, and experience to do the work. They also may need to be supervised for a period of time to be deemed competent in specific tasks. If a person is requested to carry out a work activity and they don't feel competent, they must inform their manager and not do the task until they are trained. Next, staff should not interfere with or misusing equipment. The staff must not interfere with or misuse anything that's been provided for their health, safety, or welfare. An example of this would be using fire extinguisher at an office party to spray their coworkers as a joke, or adapting cable extension leads to hold more leads than is safe.
That is Safety and Health Committee. As an employer, it is our responsibility to conduct inspection, to identify workplace hazard, and mechanism to overcome or control hazard. This committee is as a place for expeditive problem solving pertaining to safety and health issue in the workplace, According to Act, they should conduct at least 4 meetings a year or at least 1 in 3 months.
A safety and health committee can be established if any staff requests a committee. Each workplace can choose the best committee structure to suit their operations. Staff has a duty to take care of their own health and safety and that of others who may be affected by your actions at work. Staff must cooperate with employers and co-workers to help everyone meet their legal requirements.
Next point is safety and health officer. They are responsible for inspecting the workplace so that it is safe and healthy for daily activities. Help the safety and health committee in the implementing safety and health program in the organization. Provide report to the employer concerning the safety and health activities conducted in the workplace. SHO or safety officer is responsible for monitoring and evaluating hazard and unsafe conditions in the workplace. They also should inspect and monitor workplace or site in hazard-free condition. They build safety guidelines on monitor and assessment that have been made.
Safety and Health Officer. The safety officer's goal is to protect staff. Staff must be given protective care as needed along with rules and instruction on proper use. Live demonstrations with opportunity for hands-on practice can further enhance workplace safety. Workplace health and safety officers must closely follow the rules of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration (OSHA), Environmental Protection Agency (EPA), and other regulatory groups. Reports of employee injury are carefully investigated to determine the cause and solution to the root of the problem. Additionally, the Workplace Health and Safety Officer provides employees with safety tips and notice of OSHA and EPA changes. Lastly, promoting occupational safety and health. This is to give awareness to the staff so that they might perform their tasks in a safe and healthy manner.
To give awareness to employees so that they might perform their tasks in a safe and healthy manner. First thing employers should do is post signs that draw attention to safety issue. The type of sign will depend on the business. For example, if employees work with heavy equipment, all machines should have a label warning about potential injuries. Next is train employees in safety. At least once a year, hold a safety training workshop to draw attention to potential safety concerns in the office and remind employees to be safe. Topics could include everything from awareness about not letting strangers into the building to stacking boards safely. If the business is in area that is prone to natural disaster such as earthquake or hurricane, you should also educate employees on what to do in case of an emergency. Lastly, encourage employees to report things that seem unsafe. For example, an employee may notice a code that someone could trip over a machine that has been acting up. Once employer has this report, act on them.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurliana binti Ahmad Zamri. My matric number A1980428. Okay, today I would like to present the occupational safety and health issue in the workplace. Okay, the safety and health issues are divided by three, which is sexual harassment, AIDS and blood-borne pathogen, workplace violence and bullying. Okay, for the first is sexual harassment. It can be defined as any unwanted conduct of the sexual nature having the effect of verbal and non-verbal, visual, psychological and physical harassment. Sexual harassment can be divided into two main categories. First is sexual coercion, where the sexual harassment results in some direct consequence to the victim's employment. Second is sexual annoyance, a type of sexual harassment related to sexual-related conduct that is offensive, hostile and intimidating to the victim, but nonetheless has no direct link to any job and benefits. For the AIDS and blood-borne pathogen, a condition arising from human immunodeficiency virus, as known as HIV, It is a virus that attacks human immunization through targeting white cell that function as immunization against disease. There are three main routes for the virus to be transmitted from one human to another. First is through sharing of needles and syringes with infected person. Second, having unprotected anal, vaginal or oral sex with an infected person. And the last one is from mother to child during pregnancy. The third is workplace violence and bullying, specifically known as the repeated mistreatment of an individual at work in a manner that endanger his or her physical or mental health, can involve the use of insulting comments, yelling, screaming, and cursing. The step taken by the both sides to address safety and health issues. Okay, first is provided counseling service. As a both side, our company has provided counseling for our staff in this company. With this counseling, they can share their problem with our top managers and middle managers related to issues that affect to their safety and health while working in our company. The second step is roll call to hear staff issues. As a boss side, we are always hold roll call at least once per month for our staff to voice their concerns about a problem that they face, especially related to safety and health, such as sexual harassment and bullying that have occurred in the workplace. We worry that we very rushed to get money and we have forgotten about mental and health physical of our staff. And the bad effect that we will face is we will lose our experienced staff at all. The third is ethical dress code. As a boss, we will emphasize the code of ethics of our staff. Dress that is appropriate, especially for women. This is to prevent any issues related to safety and health. In addition, they also should play their role if they are victims of the sexual harassment. To come forward, if threatened by sexual harassment, if they are silent, then the perpetrators of sexual harassment will easily approach them and will continue to harass them. Last but not least is a complaint platform. Our company very take it serious for these issues, and our company has introduced an online complaint platform to our staff. This is to allow those who are shy or afraid to face the counselor to make a complaint about the problem they are faced related to occupational safety and health issue in workplace. That's all from me. Thank you.
Sexual harassment at work can have very serious consequences both for the harassed individual as well as for other working women who experience it secondhand. The effect of sexual harassment to the staff is emotional well-being. Sexual harassment in the workplace can cause significant stress and anxiety. An employment harassment lawyer is also likely to work with clients who have suffered from long-term clinical depression as a result of sexual harassment. Second is physical health. Physical health and emotional health are closely linked. When victims of sexual harassment experience mental and emotional problems, it often leads to physical health issues such as a loss of appetite and headache. This also leads to other serious health problems such as a hormonal imbalance, an increased risk of high blood pressure, and a weakened immune system. If you have been harassed by a supervisor, you should consult with an attorney to determine whether you have been subjected to a tangible employment action. If you have been, then you would be entitled to pursue a lawsuit to recover for the harm you have suffered, including lost wages and psychological harm.
Occupational health clinicians need to communicate to employees how each of these strategies has helped decrease the day-to-day risk healthcare workers potential face. Standard precaution remain one of the best way healthcare workers can protect themselves against exposure. It has been more than 15 years since standard precautions were first introduced. The probability of HBV transmission after an occupational exposure is dependent upon the concentration of infectious variants in the implicated body fluid, the volume of effective material transfer, and the route of inoculation. The most common ways blood-borne pathogens spread are through sexual transmission or IV drug use. However, any contact with infected blood or body fluid carries the risk of potential infection. With the correct information, erasure fears about workplace exposure to HIV and HBV can be prevented. As a staff, to protect yourself from exposure is attitude. Your attitude is a vital part of protecting yourself. The right attitude means taking universal precaution. This means that you treat all human blood and body fluids as infectious. Second is personal protective equipment. This includes clothing and equipment worn by an individual during activities exposed to blood-borne pathogens. Personal protective equipment always start with gloves but may also include gowns and face shields. Lastly, housekeeping. This refers to method for cleaning and decontaminating affected surface and the disposal of blood and body fluids. All decontamination must include the use of an appropriate disinfecting solution such as 1 part bleach to 10 parts water.
As a staff, if you are a target of bullies in the workplace, you probably start each week with a pit of anxiety in your stomach. Then, you count down the days until the weekend or next vacation. The effects of workplace bullying don't end when you leave the office. Being a victim of bullying can cause physical and psychological health problems, including anxiety, higher blood pressure, panic attacks, stress, and trouble sleeping. The staff not only lose motivation, they lose time because they are preoccupied with trying to defend themselves, avoiding the bully, and planning how to deal with the situation. In fact, workplace bullying can leave the victims so traumatized that they feel powerless, disoriented, confused, and helpless. To avoid from being bullied, the staff need to communicate. If someone does something that you feel is disrespectful, have a conversation with them. We can jump to the conclusion that an individual is a bully if we have not told them that their behavior is disrespectful, as we haven't given them the opportunity to understand our perception. Next, if you see something, say something. While you may not be the target of a bully, if you witness disrespectful or uncivil behavior, say something either directly to the person, if it's safe to do so, or to your supervisor or leadership team. Last but not least, attend and participate in training. Awareness training and skill building is essential for all employees and helps employees translate policies and procedures into everyday workplace behaviors.